Welcome to Financial Buzz Market Weekly. I'm RK Walker here at the New York Stock Exchange bringing you a review of this week's stock market. On Monday, the PMI composite flash for April rose a half point to 54.8, and existing home sales for March rose 1.1% to an annualized 5.6 million units. Markets fell on tech sector weakness and rising interest rates, and the U.S. dollar rose. On Tuesday, the Case-Shiller Home Price Index for February rose 0.8% on top of the prior month's 0.8% gain, and new home sales for March rose 4% to an annualized 694,000 units. Consumer confidence for April rose 1.7 points to 128.7. Markets declined sharply as the yield on 10-year treasuries rose to above 3% for the first time since January of 2014. Also, markets weren't happy with Caterpillar's guidance, stating that the first quarter was as good as this year will get. On Wednesday, the EIA Petroleum Status Report for the week ending April 20th saw crude oil inventories increase by 2.2 million barrels. Markets traded mixed. On the one hand, interest rates continue to rise, and on the other, S&P 500 companies reporting earnings thus far have seen 81% beat analyst expectations. On Thursday, durable goods orders for March increased 2.6% on top of the prior month's 3.5% gain, and jobless claims for the week ending April 21st fell 24,000 to 209,000. Markets were up on strong earnings from major tech companies. On Friday, GDP for the first quarter came in at 2.3%, higher than expectations, and the first quarter employment cost index was up 0.8%. Markets opened mixed but turned lower after ExxonMobil released disappointing earnings. Now let's take a look at some stocks. Alphabet Inc. announced on Monday its first quarter financial results with operating margin down to 22% compared to 27% a year ago due to increased growth in expenses from self-driving cars, hardware, and cloud computing service initiatives. The company's shares fell below $1,015 post-announcement. Facebook reported financial results on Wednesday with daily active users at 1.45 billion on average for March 2018, an increase of 13% year over year. Mobile advertising revenue represented approximately 91% of advertising revenue for the first quarter, up from 85% a year ago. Facebook shares surged over 9% on Thursday. AMD announced first quarter earnings results late Wednesday. Revenue was $1.65 billion, up 40% year over year and 23% quarter over quarter, driven primarily by higher revenue in the computing and graphics segment. Net income was $81 million compared to net losses of $33 million a year ago. AMD surged to over $11 per share on Thursday. Chipotle Mexican Grill reported first quarter financial results on Wednesday. Revenue increased 7.4% to $1.1 billion, and net income increased to $59.4 million compared to $46.1 million a year ago. The company opened 35 new restaurants and closed 2. Shares rose over $80 to a daytime high of $425.65 on Thursday. Amazon.com released financial results for its first quarter on Thursday. Net sales increased 43% to $51 billion in the first quarter compared to $35.7 billion a year ago. Operating income increased 92% to $1.9 billion in the first quarter compared to $1 billion a year ago. Amazon shares surged late Thursday to over $1,600 post-announcement. This is Financial Buzz Market Weekly. I'm RK Walker, and I'll see you again next week.